Hey guys, Kevin, Muddy River Tactical. Thank you for joining me. Today I have the FN 502. So for those of you familiar with the 509, this is essentially fairly close anyways, the same frame and size as what a 509 would be. So it's got a 4.6 inch barrel that's threaded so you can use your suppressor if you so chose. It's got suppressor height sights already. It's optic cut, so it's ready for the optic of your choice. So this gun is actually a hammer fired gun, but single action only. So like most hammer fired guns are double action, where this one is not. It's just a single action hammer fired. So the FN actually teamed up with Umarex, I guess is how you say it. They're the manufacturer that produces a lot of air guns and stuff in the United States, or out of Germany, but they produce a lot of the air guns and stuff. So this 502 is actually made by Umarex, and it seems like they did a fairly decent job. The build quality seems pretty good, and really not a lot of differences between the FN itself. So I'm gonna shoot a couple rounds through this thing and see how it shoots, and then we'll go over a little more. Alright, so there's the first mag. So this one that I got anyways, and I don't know if it's all of them, but the one I got anyways came with a 15 round mag and then a 10 round mag, which is kind of weird. I figured they'd both be 10 round mags since I'm not in a state that has those restrictions on them. But anyways, that's what it came with, so I don't know if that's normal or not. This thing, that was the first mag I've shot through it. You just saw the first shots. It shoots super good like you'd expect out of a 22, and other than the recoil, it shoots just like a 509. So the guys that are using these as trainer guns for 509s and stuff, I can definitely see why, because there's not much difference at all in it. The trigger's a little bit different just because it's a hammer fired single action compared to the striker fired in the 509. But other than that, it shoots a lot of the same. So it does have ambi controls. It's got the ambi safety, ambi slide release, ambi mag release as well. So that's a super nice touch, especially for those left-handed shooters like myself. It just makes it real easy and fun to shoot. Even though I don't normally use a slide release too much, I do like the option of having it there if I ever wanted to use it. So first impressions of this gun have been super good. So let's shoot one more mag through it and then we'll load up some more. Well, so far so good. The thing that always worries me about any of these 22 pistols, and I've shot a lot of them, is, you know, with 22, you're always going to have more failures than a normal, 9mm or any of those caliber guns. It just kind of comes with the territory. So I'm going to shoot some more mags through this and make sure it's reliable. I'm not for sure if I would put an optic on it though. I've seen some guys running optics on it. I'm a fan of optic, but in my opinion on 22 pistols, a lot of times, and I can't speak for this one, but a lot of times it slows the slide down, which is what causes malfunction. So that added weight of the optic slows the slide down and can sometimes cause issues, which is why I didn't put one on here for the review. Depending on how this thing shoots, if I end up keeping it, I may put one on it for another video just to see how that performs and if it makes a difference at all. Like I said, it's essentially a 509 clone. It's got the light rail. It's just really, really similar to it. And holster-wise, we do make holsters for the 502. However, if you have a 509, it will use the same holsters as those. It's barely different, but not really enough to matter holster wise. So let's load up a couple more mags here and see how it shoots. We're gonna shoot probably 4 or 5 more mags through it and just give you a full idea. Main thing about this video is just a first impression, but I want to at least shoot, I'm not gonna shoot 200 or 300 rounds or nothing, but at least want to shoot, 60, 70, 80 rounds through it and just see if there's any initial malfunctions or anything that happens in those first rounds of being broke in. So let's load up a couple mags real quick. Didn't quite go all the way in right there. I gotta give it that. This thing's definitely fun to shoot. I don't know if you saw that one round I let go and it didn't fully go in the first time, so that's something to watch. But like I said, with 22s, a few failures are kind of come with the territory there. So I was gonna show you the trigger real quick. So you got the very little to no take up, and then the wall, and then just it's kind of a long break, but it's fairly crisp. And then the reset isn't super short, but it's not terrible either. And then it's got a super firm wall. So the trigger's, in my opinion, very good. It's a little bit different than a striker fired trigger, but once you get a few rounds through it, it shoots very good. Accuracy out of this thing, this is just the first few rounds, but it's hit every target I've shot at so far. But we're only at 20, 30 yards, so that's not saying a lot. But with this barrel length, it should be a very accurate gun. Today I'm not going to shoot it any farther than this. I am going to load a few more mags and shoot it slow, fast, shoot a couple more and just see what happens. But overall, I think this is definitely a very viable option if you're in the 5 or in the 22 market. For the 502, the Glock 44s came out as a training gun, more or less, essentially for the Glock 19, and it wasn't my favorite. It had some issues. The SIG 322 has turned out to be a very good gun. However, the mags were a little weird to load, and I had some issues with that, and they're kind of still a little finicky. It's a mag problem, but it still affects how it shoots the gun. The Taurus TX22 Compact is still probably my favorite right now for the price point and everything. I've shot that gun well over 2,000 rounds without a hiccup at all. So we'll just see if this 502 competes with it at all. The one thing I will say, at the price tag that these 502s are coming at, they're at the higher end of 22 pistols. So I don't see a lot of people necessarily willing to spend that money on them, even though, you're going to save on ammo and stuff. When you start talking about a $450 to $500 22 pistol, it just loses some people's interest in the market today. But anyways, I'm gonna shoot a few more rounds here and then we'll talk about our final thoughts on this pistol. That one looked like a light strike on it. That one didn't go off there. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so I had that one round that didn't shoot there. It looked like a light strike on there, which is, hate to say anything's common, but in 22 pistols you see it quite a bit. but one out of however many rounds we just shot there, you know, 60, 70, 80, whatever that was, isn't necessarily terrible. Anytime I'm looking at a 22 pistol, I don't care what brand it is, the Taurus TX22 Compact is the only 22 pistol I've never had an issue with. All the others I've always had an issue with, and that's new guns, old guns. It's just kind of part of the territory. But this 502 shoots extremely well. It's very well balanced. It's got that full-size gun feel to it. So if you're a fan of the 509, you'll definitely like it a lot. Like I said, the one hindrance to me out of anything is the trigger. Everything, ergonomics, everything feel great on the gun. The one hindrance to me is just the price tag. It's a little high compared to the rest of the market. However, you know, if you have the extra funds, I definitely think it's a very good gun. I think you'll be pleased with it. So if you guys have any questions or any more info on it, maybe you got a 502 and you put an optic on it, let me know in the comments below how it shoots, if it still shot reliably with that added weight of an optic on the slide. I'm pretty curious about that. So please leave any questions, comments below, and we'll be happy to help. Until next time, keep practicing and always be prepared.